The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
The New York Jets have made a new signing, and we have a new report from ESPN on the state of the franchise. We will talk about the latest. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
Man, our Jets are primed to win another offseason, baby. Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go. Here on a Sunday, we're presented today by Liquid IV. Stay hydrated with Liquid IV. Use my promo code JakeAsman at checkout for 20% off. Shout out to Liquid IV. Oh boy, did I need some this morning. I will leave it at that. All right, the Jets have made another signing. We will talk about that right at the start of the show and then go through an insider column from ESPN Jets reporter Rich Cimini that had a few nuggets that I think are worth exploring. The first thing we're going to talk about is the signing the Jets just made before we signed on the air. They are signing former Chiefs defensive tackle Derek Nandi, according to his agency. You see up there on the screen in the tweet from Zach Rosenblatt. 28 will turn 29 in 2 months. 6'1", 317 pounds. He fills a need. You know, the Jets' defensive line room lost a lot of guys in free agency, and the guys who are currently on the team, other than really Quinn Williams, just aren't good. They're not. So the Jets needed to continue to rework that room, add some depth to that room, and they bring in a guy who was not great this past year, but has been a productive player in his career. He's been with Kansas City for his entire career to this point. I think he had played the last 7 years there. Here's the scouting report I got from someone who covers the Chiefs and watches Derek Nandi up close. Didn't have a great season. Run stuffer. Not a sack guy. Great dude. All right. Bargain bin shopping continues for the Jets. That's really what this free agency period has been. Because if you think about it, other than Justin Fields, who, by the way, I guess is not a guaranteed starter, but let's be real, you gave him $30 million guaranteed, so he's going to be the starter. But while technically not the starter, he is. Stevens and Cisco, every other guy the Jets have signed in free agency has essentially been a depth piece signing. Like, let's go through it here. Ready? Here are the Jets' free agent signings to date. Now, this obviously does not include the most recent one of Derek Nandi. But Fields, he's the starter. Tyler Johnson is like what? Wide receiver 3 or 4? Stone Smart, he shouldn't be the starter. Chikuma Orokafor, by the way, he actually might be the starter right now, right tackle, post Morgan Moses. Josh Myers, not a starter. Defensive tackle-wise, Cowart and Jay Tufili, not a starter. Rashad Weaver, probably not on the team. Brandon Stevens is a starter. Andre Cisco is a starter. Chris Boyd is a corner. He's the guy that shoved the special teams coach, Frank Ross of the Texans, at the beginning of that playoff game against the Chiefs this year. He's purely a special teams guy. I think Justin Hardy for his comp. And then they signed Austin McNamara, who I suppose will compete with Thomas Morstead to be the punter. But that's not a starter. So, bargain bin shopping. We'll see if the strategy works. I have my doubts. I don't think this team has gotten that much better. I think for the Jets to be a competitive team that can have a real season, a couple things need to happen. Justin Fields needs to play a lot better than he has in his career. The Jet defense needs to get back to being what it was 2 years ago. And there still is enough talent there to maybe do it if they're properly coached. You like the Steve Wilkes hire. We know Aaron Glenn's a defensive guy. So the defense has got to get back to being what it was. And then offensively, they got to run the crap out of the football because they're not going to have a dynamic passing attack. They're just not. That's not who Justin Fields is. He's a great runner. You have Garrett Wilson, who reportedly is thrilled to play with Fields. That's fine. But you just don't have a ton of great offensive weapons that are on this team post letting Davante Adams go because you were moving on from Aaron Rodgers. I mean, right now, you have Davante Adams gone. Allen Lazard was given permission to seek a trade, but he's still on the team. So could Lazard actually be on this team? I mean, I still have my doubts, but as we kind of shift gears and talk about what Rich Cimini wrote today, here's the latest on the Allen Lazard situation, according to Rich in his insider piece. Quote, one of the early surprises in free agency is wide receiver Allen Lazard remains on the roster. He had permission to seek a trade, but that didn't yield anything. Many assume he'll be released because of his cap charge, $13.2 million. Considering the dearth of proven receivers on the roster and the lack of quality in the free agent market, it would be prudent to keep Lazard, perhaps reworking his contract. He and Wilson are the only two pass catchers with more than one touchdown reception last season. Think about how pathetic that is, by the way. I don't want the Jets to keep Lazard. He would have to take a sizable pay cut for me to want to keep him around here. Otherwise, just move on from the guy. We saw what he was like with Zach Wilson, Tim Boyle, and Trevor Siemian the year Rodgers got hurt in 2023. I'm good. All right. I think the Jets are just waiting for Rodgers to decide where he's signing. And once he decides where he's signing, then maybe the Jets could try and flip him for like a 7th round pick, or, hey, we'll trade you a 6th. You trade us a 5th. You know, a little pick swap action, something like that. But I would just move on. I'm good with that Allen Lazard. I think most Jet fans would agree with that as well. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. We'll get to ASMANIAC Madness coming up here. We got a good one today. Our final matchup inside the opening round of 64 for the Butter region. Yesterday, a big win by the Hamburger over Scott. So Hamburger moves on. Today, Gary and South Ass will go at it. So we'll get into that in just a bit. Some more from Rich's story here that dropped this morning on ESPN New York. Let's talk about the comp pick situation for the Jets. You look at the comp pick scenarios here for the Jets. Excuse the graphics on StreamYard being delayed. StreamYard, you're a disgrace. Go F yourself. Let me continue. Here we go. 5 players were signed by other teams in free agency, worth a combined $175 million. DJ Reed, $48 million. Javon Kinlaw, $45 million. Davante Adams, $44 million. Morgan Moses, $24 million. Hassan Reddick, $14 million. Now, you look at how the comp pick formula basically projects the Jets for next year, and it looks like, as of now, they could potentially somehow get a 4th-round pick for Hassan Reddick, which is unbelievable. They basically are offsetting the cost of that deal in the first place. Remember, the Jets, they were able to go out there and get Hassan Reddick for a 2026 3rd-round pick. Well, next year, the New York Jets are projected to receive a 2026 4th-round pick because of Hassan Reddick. So all things considered, while the Reddick trade was an unmitigated disaster as far as his performance on the field, it is not hamstringing the Jets from a draft pick standpoint. See, that to me was the big misnomer with the Jets going quote-unquote all in this past year and the previous year. Aaron Rodgers ultimately cost them 2 second-round picks. Davante Adams cost them a 3rd-round pick. Not even their own 3rd-round pick. The Lions pick, which, as we now know, was 20 picks ahead of where we thought the Jets were actually going to be picking. So you look at it like the amount of draft capital the Jets have over the next few years, and they have picks. This year, look at the Jets draft pick situation on your screen. This year, the New York Jets have, let's count it, 3 picks in the top 73. They have a first, a second, a third, a fourth, 2 fifths, a sixth, and Kansas City 6 as well, so 2 6. So my point being that while the Jets went all in, quote unquote, they didn't mortgage their future. This is not Cleveland trading away, say, 3 first-round picks for Deshaun Watson and being absolutely screwed the last few years when he's terrible. That's not that situation here. You still have all your picks next year, too, besides that 2026 third that we just talked about is actually not going to be as bad because you're going to get a comp pick for a fourth for Reddick somehow. So, Darren Muji is restacking the deck. They have some talent on this team. So it's not a full rebuild, but call it whatever you want to call it. This free agency period tells you a lot on where this team is headed. Smell the 4 wins, people. Smell it. Unless this team has incredible coaching and they get some breaks in some one-score games like what happened in 2023, I don't see a playoff team in 2025. I don't. Would love to be wrong, but we got to call it how it is. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Appreciate everyone tuning in here on a Sunday. We'll get to your calls coming up, so load them up on the Gusbuster hotline. One final note from Cimini's column here that I want to talk about. The idea that the Jets are taking a quarterback in the first round after signing Justin Fields. If you've been watching the show this past week, I never subscribed to that thought. I guess they still could technically if, say Cam Ward's there at 7, but I doubt it. I don't think they're going to take Shedeur Sanders. I think that would be the most hypocritical thing ever if they take another celebrity quarterback after Aaron Glenn just had to get rid of Aaron Rodgers, right? So I don't buy it. But here's another reason why I don't buy it. Good nugget here from Rich in his story. Rick Spielman apparently was a huge fan of Justin Fields when Spielman was still the Vikings GM and tried to trade up for him. So we know that Denver would have taken Justin Fields in 2021 if they didn't take Patrick Surtain. Now we know Spielman reportedly tried to trade up for Justin Fields when he could have as the Vikings GM several years ago. So you know what this tells me? The Jets truly believe Justin Fields has a chance to develop into their long-term answer. I'm skeptical, but at least I'm more hopeful with Fields than I would be if they signed Carson Wentz or Marcus Mariota. That'd be a tough sell to this fan base that deserves so much more than the garbage product we've been fed these last 14 going on 15 years. But just another note here. So you have Muji, who was in Denver, who liked him. And you have Spielman, who liked him as well. We're going to see Justin Fields be the quarterback for this year. And if the Jets do go quarterback, I don't think they take a quarterback till the 3rd day of the draft. I think the earliest we see the Jets take a quarterback is the 4th round. I just don't see the Jets even using a 2nd or a 3rd round pick on one of these quarterbacks. I'd be surprised. I think they're truly going to give Fields the year, and they'll go and get their quarterback in 2026 if it doesn't work out. Well, I don't think Fields is the answer. At least there's some hope he might be. There'd be no hope with anyone else. No one saw the Vikings winning 14 games with Sam Darnold this past year, or Baker Mayfield turning into a top 10 quarterback. So we have some hope from that standpoint. But overall, it's been a very lukewarm free agent period at best. Bargain bin Jets is where they have been shopping. Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line around here. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. If you want to stop smelling like Bobby Midnight, you got to use Mando deodorant. ShopMando.com. Get you $5 off your starter pack. That's over 40% off. Mando is my go-to deodorant. It really should be yours too, because you don't want to smell like Bobby. Simple as that. If you don't want to smell like Bobby, use Mando. 72 hours, odor resistant. ShopMando.com. Promo code Asman at checkout. Get yourself your Mando starter pack today. Shout out to Mando for being one of our great sponsors. All right, load up the calls on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline. The link is pinned in the comments here. Wayne writes in, where the heck is Jordan Travis? He's still on the team, Wayne. I just wouldn't expect him to have any sort of role on this team whatsoever. I don't know if he's on the team week 1. In fact, I think it's more likely that the New York Jets are carrying a third quarterback that's not Jordan Travis than him being their third quarterback, if that makes sense. I mean, his agent trashed the organization. Jordan Travis deleted the Jets from his social media. Okay. I mean, I just don't see it. Connor Long says, Jake, did you want them to overspend on veterans who are 35 years old? I love how Muji is approached free agency. You love everything Muji does, Connor. You're young. You love it all. I mean, all right, I'm glad you love it. No, I didn't want them to overspend on veterans who are 35 years old. You know what I wanted them to do, Connor? Sign good players. You know, Javon Holland going to the Giants to that contract, he should be a Jet, for example. Instead of taking a one-year flyer on Cisco for $10 million, pay Javon Holland what he got from the Giants and have a legit safety that is a proven commodity in this league and make an AFC East division opponent weaker. I'm going to give Muji a chance, but, I mean, I'm not sitting here feeling great about what this team has done in free agency. I'm just being honest. I mean, does anyone on this list excite you besides maybe Fields? 1189 says, Jake Asman's out of patience when it comes to the Jets. Of course I am. I'm sick of it. Remember, we had to get rid of Rodgers, but you have the Vikings and the Steelers interested in the guy. It's almost like he can still play. Amazing how that works, by the way. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get to ASMANIAC Madness. That's always fun. Today, we have a matchup featuring Gary and Southass. The 2 seed, Gary 3D Boxing. The 15 seed, Southass. Ladies and gentlemen, voting is officially underway.
It's time for ASMANIAC Madness. Who will cut the nets down as the top ASMANIAC for 2025? Some of you don't even care, but we do. Let's get to it.
Vote, vote, vote. And we'll see who moves on. A lot of talk yesterday after Dave Brigham versus Gary electrified the ASMANIAC community. If you missed yesterday's show, you missed a classic, an all-timer, if you will. Shout out to everyone who was there for that. Ryed with a super chat. Fields has gotten better every year, but rolling him out with these pass catchers, even if we draft a tight end or receiver and expecting him to succeed, is BS. Yeah, I mean, the longer this goes, Ryed, as much as I might like Mason Graham, I think you have to take Tyler Warren or a receiver at 7. I mean, the Jets have no one to catch the football right now. No one. They have Garrett Wilson and no one else. I don't care for Allen Lazard. Malachi Corley is a complete unknown. Xavier Gibson is just a guy. Tyler Johnson, that's what we're going to sell ourselves on? Please. The longer this free agent period continues, the longer, or the more likely, I should say, I believe the Jets are going weapon at 7. I mean, come on. Snowball says, one South ass against another South ass. You're right. Joe the Jet says, can't build a winning culture with losing. Yeah, remember, we had to get rid of Rodgers and Devontae because we're trying to build a new culture, a winning culture. So let's get rid of our best receiver and clearly our best option at quarterback. That's why I'm not buying it. I'm not buying into what this new regime is selling until they prove to me they know what they're doing. Till then, I am very skeptical. I see the logic in the Field signing. No problem with that. But once again, I have faith in the Jets coaching staff getting the most out of Justin Fields with a first-time play caller. Okay. I hope Tanner Engstrand's great. I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical about all of it. I don't like most of these free agent signings. They're like just depth pieces at best. So let's see. If this coaching staff is great, then they'll win games. Holmes says, this regime does not deserve benefit of the doubt. Today he's going to get it. Holmes, your ability to twist words and not understand basic premises is remarkable. My point is, I'm not buying into whatever the Jets are doing, blindly saying it's going to be great. But I'm also going to sit here and give this regime a chance to prove they They either know what they're doing or they don't. Like, I'm not going to say they're going to suck automatically next year. I don't think they're going to be very good. And that's just my feeling right now. But I'm also not going to sit here and, like, praise every move because I don't believe it to be great moves right now. You know, I'm just going to sit back and see. If you can't understand that, Yo Holmes, that's on you, man. Because you do this all the time. You come in here, you watch every show because you're addicted to it. You can't get enough of it. And then you take me out of context. And it's very upsetting. And it hurts. It really does. I'm in pain, Yo Holmes. I'm in pain. Ha. 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 NW says, I'm excited for Cisco, but biased because huge fan. I mean, I don't hate that signing. It's just my point is you signed him for 1 year, $10 million, right? Javon Holland contract with the Giants. Google that, everyone. 3 years, $45 million. $30 million guaranteed. I'd rather pay Javon Holland basically a 2-year deal for $30 million, $15 million AAV, and have him under contract at age 25 for 2 years than Cisco for 1, if that makes sense. That's my point. I think the Jets have gotten too cute with some of these signings. Oh, we're looking for value, and just sign good football players, man. Rick says, as you've said before, these past few seasons have done irreparable damage. Yeah. Here's another reason why I'm skeptical for those of you saying I'm too negative. I didn't want a first-time head coach and a first-time GM. And I was outspoken on that since early December. So I just have a hard time blindly trusting a new regime when they have no track record. You understand what I mean? Like, I'm rooting for them. Well, and I hope they're good. But if this team hired Thomas Dimitroff, for example, at GM, and it was Aaron Glenn, the head coach, I'd feel a lot better. I'm not trying to knock Muji. I don't know what he is. I'm just very skeptical. Anthony says, why do people act like there are only two options between dumpster diving and signing over the price 35-year-olds? Because that's the narrative the Jets regime truthers want to spin to you. Oh, they have this great plan. Yeah, Izek had a plan too. You know what that plan was? Being terrible at his job. He's being smart financially, and look at all the picks he compiled. And then you have the Izek 12. So show me these people know what they're doing before I buy in blindly. 3 siblings J. Fields is the guy right now. Yeah, by default. Have you seen the other options? All right. First super chat of the day. 5 raffle entries for Who's Your Daddy. Maybe they're setting up to tank the season and set up next year's draft. I wish Lou Lamoriello did that past trade deadline. Well, we got a good player for Nelson. He should have moved anyone else in such a seller's market. I do agree with that Islander point. Here's your daddy for what it's worth. Now, as far as the Jets tanking next year, I don't think they're tanking. Tanking doesn't work. I just don't think they're going to be very good. So they might be, sitting there at 4-13 anyway. But I don't think they're trying to lose on purpose. But once again, it's tough to believe Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji when they say we want to win now and going forward, and the list of free agents you've signed, other than probably about 2 of them, aren't projected to start for you right now. Like, the one thing I'll give the Jets credit for is I think they have better O-line depth than they had last year, but that's not enough. They still lost Morgan Moses. Who's the right tackle right now? Big Islander fan, speaking of the Islanders. Jets are shopping at the 99-cent store, and then more likely you get what you pay for. Yeah, they are. They're bargain shopping. YouTube user, 4-13. Come on, man. What do you think this team's going to be, YouTube user? 10-7 and making the playoffs? I got a bridge I want to sell you. Thomas Dimitroff never won anything as a GM. Ladies and gentlemen, today's dumbass comment of the day goes to, you guessed it, Henrik.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. And may God have mercy on your soul.
I mean, he went to the playoffs with 2 different head coaches, went to a Super Bowl that if his team wasn't part of the biggest collapse in NFL history, he would have a Super Bowl ring on his finger. He wasn't responsible for 28-3. Guy was a good GM. My point is he at least is an experienced person in that role. Once again, the Jets continue to do the same thing over and over again and are expecting a different result. Now, maybe they're right to hire Glenn and Muji. We will find out. But I think for those of you who are saying, well, why is this fan base so negative right now? Like, it's because they did the same thing again. First time head coach from a defensive background, an offensive coordinator who has never called plays before at the NFL level, not once, never has done it, and a general manager who has never been a GM before. So that's why people are skeptical. It's not that hard. And none of these free agent signings have been very inspiring to really get us excited. Fields, I guess you could argue there's some excitement there because there's an upside. But other than that, like, really? So, like, that's why there's a lot of negativity in the fan base right now. It's just reality. It's not ideal. I don't like talking about the negatives and having a feeling this team's going to stink this year. If you watch the show long enough, you know I'm usually about as positive as it gets. But I'm a realist. I don't see it right now. And that sucks. Flight Right says, love the show. Keep speaking the truth. I can't see us winning more than 6 games max. Can't build the culture of losing. I agree. Remember, the Jets had to get rid of Rodgers and Devontae to fix the culture, but Devontae Adams immediately signs with one of the best franchises in the NFL the last 8 years, the Rams. Aaron Rodgers is being pursued by the Vikings and the Steelers. Okay. Got to change the culture, though. Got it. Rich says, smash the like. I agree, Rich. Salient point. R&R says, Aaron Glenn is nothing like Saleh. You don't know that. I don't think he is either, but we don't know that. I mean, Robert Saleh came in and said he's going to coach the whole team and had all gas, no brakes, and was this fiery guy we saw, and he turned out to be an imposter. So we don't know that. Sean says, Fields is a bridge quarterback. We'll see what he could show. He might be awesome. He might be off or just okay. Let's just see. It's the one move they made that I understood. KG writes in, I'm with you, Jake. I'm usually the optimistic fan, but after last year and 15 years, no playoffs, they have to show us something first. Exactly. Lorenzo says, what big names were the Lions signing in the beginning or ever under Dan Campbell? I don't think it's about the big names, Lorenzo. The Lions were able to turn their franchise around in large part because they turned Jared Goff into a franchise quarterback. Can the Jets do the same thing with Fields? Super chat from Charlie. Thank you, Charlie. We have to see how the draft looks. I'll give them that. Because if they draft good in this year's draft, they'll be off to a better start than Douglas. Yeah, I mean, if you think about Douglas's first draft, right? None of them now are officially Jets. All members of the 2020 draft class, Douglas's first draft class, are no longer Jets. Crazy. All right, let's mention the raffle prizes here. Try and make some people's days, get some memberships gifted. We got a top 3 right now that includes a signed Don Maynard helmet. Or signed Don Maynard Hall of Fame jersey. A signed Garrett Wilson helmet. Can we extend Garrett, by the way? That would be awesome. A signed Wayne Corbett helmet. And ladies and gentlemen, our next prize, a signed Brandon Marshall jersey. So our theme this week is great Jet wide receivers. Brandon Marshall signed jersey, our latest Asmaniac raffle prize added. So get the membership if you want in on the next Asmaniac raffle. We have a huge blowout going on in Asmaniac Madness. No surprise, but it is in fact the 2-seed Gary dominating his matchup currently. He is up 78-22. But it ain't over until Charles Gorman farts. So vote, vote, vote. Here's a look at the bracket, by the way, in the butter region. It's our last matchup in the opening round. No perfect brackets are left, by the way, in our ASMANIAC Madness bracket pool. If you're one of the people who filled out a bracket, 0 perfect brackets remain, which is amazing. Gary versus South Ass is the final matchup in the butter region round of 64. Then we're on to the Lane Train region tomorrow. Lane Train versus 25 will be the matchup there. So it's all happening, folks. Here's a look at the Lane Train region. Each matchup will do per show next week. Robert C. and Rick Kent in the 8-9. Jay Graves and BMAC in the 5-12. Kyle Clifton and Phenom in the 4-13. Chef Kevin and Snowball in the 6-11. Bonesy and JT in the 3-14. Philly Noodles and Doug on the Couch in the 7-10. And V-Man and Charlie the Dog Groomer in the 2-15. David Atkins is the first to gift during the show. He has gifted 5 channel memberships, baby.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
All right, if you hear your name called, thank David. He's in our raffle for 5. Mario Correa, Matt Ryder, Kent Freeman, W. Gresh, B Show 58. All receiving channel memberships. David says, Jake is right. We are in jet purgatory. We will see. Yeah, it sucks, David. I wish they weren't, but that's kind of the feeling right now. Steven says, St. John's can win, so can the Jets. Hey, shout out to St. John's. That was awesome. It's no longer, by the way, just a fun little story. Oh, St. John's is relevant this year. They're good. They could do damage in the tournament. Honestly, they should be a 1 seed. They won't be. They'll probably be a 2 later tonight when the brackets come out. But they're really good. Ted writes in, Jake, can we see the draft before we comment on win-loss predictions? I mean, you could, but I talk about the Jets every day, 365 days a year. So when people ask me, which I get asked a lot on the show, how many wins do I see? I'm not going to say, well, I got to wait. I'll give an opinion. Right now, I think they're going to go 4-13. I hope I'm wrong. $11.89 says, I really believe the Jets will win 6 to 9 games this year. There's a massive difference between 6 and 9, just so you know, $11.89. 9 wins is a winning season, something this franchise hasn't done in a decade. 6 wins is more of the same. Big difference. And by the way, what did St. John's do to turn it around? They hired Rick Pitino, who is a proven head coach in a job he's done before. The Jet comparison doesn't work. They hired a novice at coach and GM. We don't know. Sean says, he smells the 4 wins. Just sniff the air. I know. Sean, I do. It sucks. All right. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Let's get to some of your calls coming up. But first, we take a quick commercial break. This commercial is brought to you by the JJ over Big Fella campaign.
There's going to be a day where Jake is going to come on here talking about Robert Saleh, and he's going to say the same thing. He stinks. Stop defending him.
You're the best. Ladies and gentlemen, negative caller JJ in person here on the show.
You guys think that I'm just a negative caller, but I support this team. I'm at every home game, every away game, and even at training camps. Don't believe me? Ask DJ Reed.
But right now, we out here. Hold up, you know what time it is.
Even Ryan Fitzpatrick thinks I should win. He gave me a candy cane.
No matter what our record is, no matter what the weather's like,
JJ's still at the games, rooting on his team.
He's back! You got to respect JJ's effort, all right? He doesn't need Gator for his videos. He does it himself, and you could tell. Shout out to JJ. Is it enough to take down Big Fella in the round of 32? We will find out, but that is a compelling matchup, to say the least. When we get to that round of 32 in the Chicken Soup region, oh, baby. Nick Shine writes in, hardest working retired man I've ever seen. JJ's retirement was shorter than Brett Favre's. Ryan with an Asmaniac Super Chat. By the way, worth noting to everyone, when you become a channel member, you do get a free Super Chat every month. The optimist in me thinks that the schedule is a certain way we can get close to 500, but the pessimist in me feels 3-14. Let's be real. The Jets are probably going to go 5 or 6 wins again, right? You know, it'll be funny. They probably win 6 games, and all the Rodgers, anti-Rodgers people are like, we won more games without Rodgers, see? Oh, I can't wait for that. Those calls are going to be fun next year. Well, we won more games without Rodgers. Okay, I'm happy for you. Glad you're celebrating 6 wins. It's great. It's almost like it takes a team to win football games. You know? Like, last I checked, Justin Herbert was on a team that won 5 games before Jim Harbaugh got there. Nick Shine is in our raffle for 1. Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Shine, now a channel member. And to pay homage to Nick Shine, here's the latest masterpiece from Gator McCluskey.
Aaron Rodgers? Oh, he's going to make the playoffs in Pittsburgh. Pussy arm doesn't have the fucking balls to do it anymore. Bag of shit. We had a quarterback who couldn't finish drives and score touchdowns. He's a scared piece of shit. We wouldn't have to settle on field goals if we had a good enough quarterback who had a set of balls and didn't have to rely on the kicker to kick the ball. The great Aaron Rodgers that you want to fucking blow bag. Aaron Rodgers is so fucking good. Oh man, Aaron Rodgers had 5 fucking wins.
Nick Shine with a severe case of RDS, Rodgers derangement syndrome. Dun, dun, dun. All right, let's get to some calls here, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, first up on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is a man you need to fear at all times. Beast?
Smell it. Breathe in. I smell the 13-win season. If God could tell it like it is. I do see this. Jake, question. Where did we get these bums from? That's the question. Fields looks like a good start, but where the hell did we get these bums from? Where are they from? It's like, who picked these names out of the hat? Question is, can we get some better names? Oh, and for Greg Zuerlein, I got a new one for you. He stinks.
Are those your socks, Beast?
Do you know the commercial? Remember when you used to yell, "He stinks"?
Yeah.
This is the new one for Greg Zuerlein because he stinks. Bad odor. Get out of here. Ugh. Ugh. That's bad laundry.
Hey, Beast, how come it's so dark in the attic?
It's snowing over here. It's actually snowing. And I'm sitting there going, we're in March and we're snowing. Why? Christmas time is supposed to be for snow, not March. But St. John's, they're looking great this year. I don't know why. But if they keep this up, they're going to be a roaring team to be to be unstoppable. And are we ready for some baseball? Are we ready for some Mets and some Yankee baseball? How about some hot dogs? How about get your hot dogs? Come on, get your hot dogs.
Hey, Beast. I have some sad news. I have some sad news to deliver to you.
Nah, blow it. I got no time.
Metro Funny says, send him to the hole. You had a good run, Beast. We'll see you later.
Now look what you've done.
Offensive line, defensive
Beast
line.
Breaker
Offensive line. The first thing I'm going to
666.
address-
No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to cut your call off and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. Do you understand me? You catch my drift?
Are you seriously on crack? I think somebody
Give them another 24 hours to think about it.
How about you bending over and taking up the booty hole behind the 7-Eleven?
10 raffle entries for Metro Funny. But I'll tell you what. Beastbreaker, whatever you just did there with your mic or internet connection, that was the best you have ever sounded, arguably. So we have to figure out whatever you just did and repeat that. It's like a starting pitcher that's got to learn to repeat their delivery. I need you to do that every time, Beast, because we actually could hear what you were saying. Now, you might want to add a little more light to your establishment, a little dark in that attic, but we heard you loud and clear. Hey, shout out to Metro Funny. Bounties remain. All right. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Reminder to those of you just tuning in, we added another raffle prize to next week's Asmaniac raffle. Signed Brandon Marshall jersey to go with a signed Wayne Corbett helmet, signed Garrett Wilson helmet, and our top prize, signed Hall of Fame Don Maynard jersey with each of his accomplishments listed on the jersey, which will look great in a frame. So, those are the prizes. Gift away or a super chat. I want to give a huge shout out to everyone who's on Patreon. Shout out to the Patreon crew. You guys make the show possible. If you join the Patreon for the year, by the way, you still get 10 raffle entries included. And if you sign up for the year on Patreon, you save 15% on the year. Huge shout out to Matthew Gordon and Hollywood 50, our two most recent Patreon subscribers. Let's see. Let's get to more of your calls here, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, Chris G is on the line. Chris, you're the most optimistic Jet fan I know. How are you?
I'm doing good, Jake. How are you?
Do you still like the moves that Muji is making? Is he cooking?
I do. I do like the moves. I think people are being way too hard on him. I mean, I think that Glenn and Muji have a vision for what they want this team to look like, and they are signing players that fit that vision, which is smart. And the Jets never had a crazy amount of money going to this season. I mean, this free agency class, and the class was never stacked. So I don't know what people wanted them to do. And, when has signing big name free agents ever worked for the Jets? It hasn't. And, this free agents they did sign, they did get O-line depth, and today they regarded a key position, another starting D lineman next to Quinnen. They have signed D line depth. They address safety. So, I love what they're doing in free agency. I think they're doing a good job, and people are being way too hard and negative on them.
I like the positivity. Unfortunately, deep down, Chris, I know you smell it. 4 or 5 wins. What are you thinking?
I don't smell it, Jake. I don't. The Fialco film review was concerning on Fields. There was a couple negatives, but I think regarding him checking it down, I think the Steelers told him to be conservative rather than throw it downfield. So I think the Jets have to let him go a little bit more, play to his strengths a little bit more. He already has chemistry with so many players. The center, Garrett Wilson, the main one. So I think there's a real chance we can go 9-8 and make some noise.
9-8. I'd take that. That'd be more wins than you've ever seen in your lifetime, correct?
100%. I'd love 9-8, Jake. I'd love 9-8.
Oh, it's so sad what this franchise has done to fans. 9-8 and be the most wins he's seen. How old are you, Chris? 14?
Yep.
Amazing. Good call, Chris. I hope you're right. I'm very down right now on everything.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's hard to be up as a Jet fan, but I'll try my best. I got to order my Fields jersey and have that ready soon.
You're ordering your Fields jersey?
Yep, I'm getting my Legacy White Fields jersey, baby. I'll have it by the draft party.
All right, Chris, hopefully you could make it to the job. I'm announcing it this week, all right? All the details. Stay tuned.
Good.
Ladies and gentlemen.
JETS, Jets.
Chris G, an optimist. I love it. I would not recommend any Jet fan gets a Fields jersey. I would just wait. But hey, spend your money the way you want to spend it. I'm not going to tell people how to do that. John writes in, remember Devontae's fiery speech that was supposed to turn around the season? John, the way I look at that speech is just how embarrassing it was that the guy who was with the team for 2 minutes saw a glaring issue and called it out right away. Think about that. The guy had just shown up and he's leading the team. They had no leadership on the team this past year. That atomic clock, people pretending these dumpster dives are good signings are hilarious. I agree. They don't do anything. They don't move the needle at all. They've signed 2 legit starters in free agency so far. That's it. Everyone else is a depth signing. Sean says Fields could either be a stud or a dud. He's probably going to be what he is. He'll give you some awesome moments, and when push comes to shove and you need him to drop back and throw and go win the game, he's probably not going to be able to do it. That's not who he is. Can they be competitive with him? Absolutely. If they have a real plan for him. Hopefully Tanner Engstrand's a great coach. See, like, putting my stock in the Jets going 9-8 next year is very hard to do when you have no idea who the head coach, what he is as a head coach, and who the offensive coordinator is as an OC. He's never called plays. It's tough. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is someone we have not heard from in several days. What will he say that will freak all of us out next? We find out now.
It's Chiefs fan. Guess what? I'm still looking for a job, bitches. It's Chiefs fan. I'm just going to rub my hands together all day. It's Chiefs fan. There's a whole lot of DNA on this couch. Let's hear it for Chiefs fan. Look, it's my dead neighbor that I didn't kill. Yo, what up, Jake? I've been
Chiefs
helping
fan,
my
how are you?
I've been helping my friend clean his place out since he had a really bad lung infection and helping my other friend pack. He decided to leave early so he could.
Why is it your job to help these people do things?
Because I'm a good friend. Like if we knew each other, I would help you pack.
Are they helping you?
Oh yeah, they've drove me around for all my medical appointments and all that stuff. Now that I'm at the almost fully healed point, my doctor has gave me to go to walk over there to get my cast off in 3 to 4 weeks.
What are your thoughts on Rick saying there's always Chiefs fan drama?
It is what it is.
Sean says don't headbutt his cat.
I'm not going to. I don't abuse animals, fam.
Tom A says the middle reliever getting his confidence back to be the closer again. Do you feel like your confidence is coming back?
Yeah. Being away from the show, helping people out, gave me my confidence back. Finding out that I don't need surgery at all gave me my confidence back. So that's one less surgery I have to go into.
Absolutely. Now, let me ask you this, Chiefs fan. Hold on. StreamYard's still having issues. Stand by.
Yep.
An incident that occurred on the show yesterday between Dave Briga and Bobby Midnight. Were you following that?
No. I was teaching my friend how to get back into play Yu-Gi-Oh. So
I see. Well, while you were Yu-Gi-Oh-ing it up, Dave Briga called you out, Bobby Midnight out, and Charles Gorman out for not having a job. Take a look.
He thinks that Charles and Bobby need to get a job. This cowboy hates to see Asmaniacs complain. What he call him, one punch breeder. You need to get a job. What he call him, one punch breeder. The beast is on his ass. Call him one punch breeder. Does anyone see me back and call him one punch breeder? You'll only need one.
You'll notice, Cheats fan, you're on the wall when Gorman's sitting in the living room there as like the face of the jobless. Any thoughts?
It's fine. I've got in contact with that lumber yard, and they said once I fully recover, it's a go. I'll do the overnight shift.
So there could be a job on the horizon. So you're saying Dave Briga?
Yeah. I understand what he means. My grandparents are getting on my ass about that too, about the job. That's why they're cutting off the trust fund, and like even if you get a part,
they're cutting off the trust fund.
They're cutting off the trust fund come July, so I should be fully recovered by then. They don't want me to spend that much, and then that's when I get the job. I'm slowly recovering for that.
Can you believe that Dave Briga was able to edit together that video?
That was good stuff, Dave. Good stuff.
Love Bites writes in, Cowboy Briga emoji went. I'll tell you what. Hold on. Let me see how many we are away from this. I'm going to need Gator or Snowball or Joe Mike to work overtime here. We are currently, well, I don't know. We're 35 away from emoji. Our
Oh,
next
then
emoji.
that gives people more incentive to win that Hall of Fame jersey. God dang it, jersey. That that's the best prize. Is that the number one prize? I'm guessing.
35 away from the Cowboy Briga emoji. So gift,
Hell yeah.
gift if you want in. And as Cheats fan brought up, you got a chance to win a Don Maynard jersey,
My bad
Garrett
for
Wilson
cutting
jersey,
there.
or Garrett Wilson helmet, Wayne Corbett helmet, and Brandon Marshall signed
I
jersey.
think the Hall of Fame jersey should be the number one prize. If that's
It
okay
is.
for you, Jake.
It is.
Good stuff.
That's why it went first.
Hell yeah. uh, I I'm really hoping that people could win that thing, no matter how many inches you put in. Hopefully, you guys win it because that'll be, yeah, hell yeah, Terrence. That'll be
Jack K
amazing.
has called you a lazy bastard. Would you like to respond?
That's my response.
Strong.
But yeah, I'm back. I've been helping people. Doing that deep cleaning, I had to use hardcore bleach. And you know those painter's masks that painters use? I went out and bought a few of those. And
You should wear that
did
on the show.
I mean, I got one right now. Hold on.
All right, here we go, folks.
Yeah, I used one of. Basically, used one of these, Jake, when I was cleaning. I bought a set of 3, and I went through 2 of them. Like the mask you wear during COVID, they were selling them 3 for $5 at my Walgreens, and I did that. But these are very hard to breathe in, so I'm going to take it off. I had about 4 or 5 fans going when I was cleaning out that place, all circulating out of the house. And the basement was the place where it had the most mold. So he gave me a number to call someone about that because I don't mess around with black mold. But I cleaned
Boomtown says, are those blood stains along the side of the mask?
No. I'm not that sick. I mean, if they asked me to be in a horror film, I'll do it. 'Cause that's one of my favorite genres. See No Evil, the one with Kane, got me into horror films again. If y'all remember that. That and The Hills Have Eyes, if you know those 2 movies, Jake.
Rick wants to know if you're the kind of person that wears a mask when you're by yourself.
Oh, no. Like, during COVID, I would wear these, but like when I'm by myself, when I'm cleaning stuff, I'm messing with heavy-duty bleach, I will. But if I'm just walking by myself, I wasn't like those crazy people who were walking in wearing a mask during COVID. I'm like, if I get it, I get it.
Purple Belt Mike says, of course. How is Mike not a channel member, people? Of course, horror is your favorite genre.
It's horror and comedy. But like horror, like I grew up watching, like my grandparents and my family let me watch horror movies since I was age 7. I watched Chucky. That scared me up into my teens, and then I got over it. Chucky's Bride was that one movie that reinvigorated my horror love for a little bit. And then the Saw franchise. When I was recovering from a broken leg, I watched all the Saw movies because my friend had the DVD set. Yes, little DVD set. Like this is back in the 2014, and still had DVDs. So yeah, I've been doing good. Just calling in to check on y'all. Oh hell yeah, Rick. Get those
We're the
memberships.
freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
It's the ASMANIAC membership raffle. For every membership gifted, you receive 1 ticket entered in the raffle to win epic prizes.
We'll get back to the Cheats fan call in a moment. But first, Rick Kent getting us closer to the Cowboy Briga emoji that we will hopefully get made. Marlon Lave, Jack, PA, and Seema. Brandon Newsom. Yotan Aaron. And I'm glad Yotan got a membership because he's in Cheats fans' crosshairs. Cheats fan, Yotan questioned why you're a 1 seed. Would you like to respond to him?
Hey, that's my response.
It seems like your response is just a giant bleep you to the folks.
I mean, it's the council that did this. I was expecting to be like a 2 seed or a 3 seed. And now I go up against the legendary Weed the People.
You nervous?
I also told my friends about this competition. Like, what are you gonna do if you go down early? I'm like, root for the person that beats me. Like, I'm not gonna be that. Like, mean. Like, if I lose, if I'm the first 1 seed to go, that gives me more opportunity to get out and get things done.
I think there's a chance either you or Bobby Midnight could be in danger.
I'll probably be the first one. You know how people like Weed in his edits.
Well, your matchup is before Bobby's, but you both might lose in the same round. I'm saying.
Oh, it's fine. It's just all fun and games. Now that the real person advanced that I wanted to face.
You got to believe in yourself, Tom.
I know. I'll believe in myself, Tom. But I'm like, at this point, I'm just glad still to be here. And I'm also glad about that place contacted me a few days ago. I contacted my landlord, and she's still up my ass. Well, if you want to have a pet, it's an extra $300 rent plus an extra $200 security deposit. I'm like, even if it's a therapy pet, And like when I lived up north, I worked with senior cats.
Bill wants to know your thoughts on Rob from Glenhead. Have you two cleared the air since you got into it?
I don't think we've cleared the air, but like he's got a temper, I got a temper, but like things flared. I apologize.
That they did.
Yeah.
What
I
don't like about you, you fucking old cunt. Fuck yourself, you piece of shit.
Fuck yourself.
Fuck you.
Well, first of all, I'm not a trade, you asshole.
Yeah, you are. You are.
You're a fucking asshole too. So
fuck you, asshole. Watch your fucking mouth.
We've added Bobby Midnight to the discourse. Gentlemen, you both went at it with Rob from Glenhead last week.
Yo, what up, Bobby?
A week has passed by. Have cooler heads prevailed in
cooler heads have prevailed my way.
I just don't want to deal with it anymore. I'm not dealing with it.
I see.
Hey, Jake.
Hydrate people.
I do stink.
You do smell. You should.
I'm gonna buy your Mando soon, so I smell nice.
That's right. Use promo code Asman. Shopmando.com.
Yep, and then Tuesday's my big day.
For work, I'm guessing.
Get it? Yeah, I get it's like you go in with a group of people. They show you how to do resumes, application. Then you meet with a person, and then they help you get the job.
So you basically have your own very own case manager.
Yeah, it's I think that's what they call case manager. Yeah, when you go into that, good. Yeah, that's
because before COVID, like I had a hard time getting a job.
Yeah,
in the past year, I had a case manager before I seen you guys.
And my friend Nick Shine said to get NJ told me to get help because I'm getting a little older, so I feel good about myself for Tuesday. Then I get my blood test, then call my doctor. And asked her if I could get the nutritionist.
Hey, Bobby, a day after you and Briga went at it, is there any updates? Have you guys spoken?
No.
Do you think the friendship could be saved?
I don't know. It's up to him.
I see. Well, gentlemen, thank you very much.
He thinks that Charles and Bobby need to get a job. This cowboy hates to see Asmaniacs complain. What he call it, one punch Briga. You need to get a job. What he call him, one punch Briga. The beast is on his ass. Call him one punch Briga. Does anyone see me Mac? Call him one punch Briga. 'Cause you only need one.
Dave Briga, trying to help the U.S. economy. Tyrone with a super chat. If Jordan Travis is great in camp and shows he can be great with the proper coaching, what do we do with Tyrod? It'd be awesome if this guy could be the future. I just think if you're banking on Jordan Travis to be the future Tyrone, you're setting yourself up for failure. I think Tyrod's on the team no matter what. I think the Jets really like him as a backup. Like, Jordan Travis would have to ball out to even, like, have the conversation of trading, I guess, Tyrod in this scenario and then having Fields and Jordan Travis be the quarterback room. I just don't see it. And I think the Jets are going to draft the quarterback this year. I don't think it's going to be in the first 2 rounds. I think the earliest they do it is pick 72. But I think more likely than not, they're going to want to use their 3 picks in the top 72 to address the roster. Or I think it's 3. What is it? It's 3 in the top 73 officially here. Yep. And then I could see them taking a quarterback with 109, 146, 157 in that range. I would just be surprised personally. TB says, Brigham never should have been a 15 seed. He should have been a top 5 seed. The problem with Dave is he didn't call a lot. But this tournament has fired him up. The opportunity to go against Beastbreaker has inspired him. And now, Dave Briga is gunning for Mike D's nuts. You look at the overall bracket here. There's a path for Dave Briga to go on a run. He gets by D's nuts. Briga versus Lowski potentially. Unless Aurora upsets Lowski. And it's set for Briga to potentially go up against Gorman. And you know Dave is going to be yelling at Charles to get a job. And that is going to be quite the matchup if we get it. Chris writes in, Briga should not be that high. He's a moon landing truther.
You said people walked on the moon, correct?
Yeah.
Prove your claim.
It's not my claim, it's history's claim. You're an ignorant person. I was there. I know what went on.
You were on the moon?
Or you just don't believe it.
Give me the evidence that people walked on the moon.
You don't make any sense.
All I've asked you for is evidence.
You don't believe in achievement.
This is irrational. You're acting like an irate 5-year-old.
Listen to me, big mouth.
Dave Brigham, walk like a man. It's not my claim. It's not my burden.
You said you went to college. They teach you nothing?
Shut up.
Don't tell me to shut up.
This is ridiculous.
You're ridiculous.
You can't have a rational conversation. You can't shut your mouth.
What's rational? You're just a denier.
How does me knowing the name of the 3 people who died on the Apollo prove that people walked on the moon?
That itself doesn't prove it, no.
Prove your claim that people walked on the moon.
Men don't die for no reason at all.
How does men don't die for no reason prove that people walked on the moon? Your evidence is that you were alive when someone claimed to have walked on the moon.
I was living then, yes.
What does that prove?
I believe in achievement. I believe in a space program.
You believe in achievement. Therefore, people walked on the moon. That's your argument?
I believe people didn't lie to us like you.
I believe in achievement. Therefore, people walked on the moon?
Go read the history. Go look at films. I have books.
Then this should be easy for you. Prove that people walked on the moon. You've done all the research. This should be easy. It's not my burden.
Buzz Aldrin, in his mind, had to calculate the exact landing. You believe it was a cover-up?
I don't believe the claim that people walked on the moon. That's it.
I have to prove history, but you don't have to prove anything. Go take some more headshots. You need some.
What a moment it was yesterday on the program if you missed it live. God, go back and watch. Highly recommend. About 15 minutes of Briga and Gary yelling incoherent thoughts at one another. Incredible. More calls right now. We heard from this guy via his campaign video earlier. We say hi to JJ now. Hello, JJ.
What's going on? What's going on?
How are you, JJ?
I'm good. I'm just sick and tired of coming on here and saying.
Oh, God. I'm sick and tired of your internet being brutal. How about that?
Hold on, I'm gonna record right now. Hold on. Oh, you.
I'd rather listen to Gorman fart than your bad internet connection. JJ, call back. We'll put you back on if you figure out your connection. More calls right now. Party with Peg and Artie's on the line. Artie, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Jake?
Peg's there too. We got both of you guys. Love it.
Yeah, we're here. Hey, you know, it's funny that the Beast, after like 6 months, technical issues, he had a leading YouTube guy and his wily, crafty producer help him finally get internet to be on perfectly for 10 seconds and then get thrown in the hole.
There's always something with this show.
Yeah, that was awesome. Dave Brigger went total beast mode on people yesterday. I thought that was absolutely awesome.
I haven't laughed that hard in a while, and I've had the Dave Brigger cartoon song that Gator made in my head nonstop since we played it.
I wonder if Gary thinks George Washington existed, or maybe Orville fucking Kitty Hawk. No, not Redenbacher. Who's the guy who flew the planes?
My favorite thing
Wright
ever
brothers.
is
Did they
the Wright
Gary?
brothers.
I never saw him jump in this fucking plane, but I'm sure they learn. You know what I mean? So anyway,
I
Yeah.
love when Dave is yelling at Gary. You don't believe in achievement. You don't believe in achievement. I thought that was such a good line.
history. You're ignorant. Oh my god, it was funny as hell. You know what I wanted to tell you though, Jake, about Moogie? I think I'm on board with Chris, the lad Chris. I think he said the youth of America doesn't have the same pain that we have. So they're gonna see things through a little more rose-colored glasses than most of us. But I do like the moves he made. I think they're done with a plan. Frankie from Black Flatbush made a good point about that guy Stevens. That he's got compromised when they're playing zone, which the Ravens do most of the time. But when he's up playing press coverage, he's like a blanket. You know, he's really good. So I think they're going to coach him up, and I think they drafting these guys. Not drafting them, but I think they're picking up these free agents with at least a plan. I hope anyway. I mean, what else can we do?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the best way to describe it would be this: if Joe Douglas made that signing, he'd be getting criticized because the fan base had run out of patience and benefit of the doubt. But since Muji and Glenn are brand new, they will get the benefit of the doubt with a Stevens-like signing because, well, you got to see if they identified someone with talent that could fit their scheme. So, like, we won't know until we actually see it, but that's why I think the reaction is not what it would be if that was, say, the previous regime a couple of years in making that same type of move, because that to me is a very questionable signing. So we'll see if they maybe see something that obviously the Ravens didn't see.
True. Right. Anyway, you got anything to add?
No, I do not. Except everybody.
Okay.
Arturo.
Anyway, Jake, we got to go. I'll talk to you later.
Peg, Artie, excellent job as always. More calls right now. Will JJ's internet be crap? We'll find out again. Hello, JJ.
Oh, I got a booger in my nose. How's the internet now?
Time will tell. What do you got for us?
All right, man. Yo, listen, I'm tired of you slandering my guy Justin Fields, man. How could you come on here and say that you wouldn't encourage anybody to get a Justin Fields jersey? I mean, Justin Fields is about to go crazy for us this year. I don't understand why you guys were so happy with Zach Wilson.
That's me slandering him. That's not me slandering him. I'm just saying I wouldn't. I'm just saying I wouldn't get the jersey for a guy who might not be the quarterback beyond just 1 year. That feels like a waste of an investment.
Beyond 1 year, this is our new franchise quarterback. He's going to be in the Jets Ring of Honor. And I know you guys think I'm joking around. I'm serious. I'm tired of all this negativity around our quarterback. I mean, are you guys Jets fans or what? All this negativity, man. Like, can we give the guy a chance? You guys gave Zach Wilson chance after chance after chance. You guys were giving Mike White chance after chance after chance. Tim Boyle, well, we don't know. Let's wait and see. We got Justin Fields. And if we would have drafted Justin Fields instead of Zach Wilson back in the day, which is what we should have done, I mean, we'd probably be a playoff team year after year. That's how much faith I have in Justin Fields with these weapons. Also, I just wanted to add, what would this show be without Gary? I mean, Gary called in yesterday and he brought his daughter on. He brought the babysitter on just for backup, but he didn't even need it. That call with Briga was it's going to go down in history as one of the greatest calls ever. And the best part of it was when Dave Briga said that he was there. He was there during the moon landing. He was on the moon with Buzz Aldridge and all those other guys. If Gary doesn't make it to the Final Four, I don't know. This show is biased because Gary is one of the greatest Jake Asman callers that we got.
John, JJ, you happy about that film review?
I guess John didn't watch my film review. I had my own film review because I thought that film review was stupid. Smokescreen. I don't understand. What's the smokescreen? Justin Fields is going to lead us to the playoffs next year. We're going to the playoffs. You guys keep talking about you can smell the 4 wins. We're not winning only 4 games next year. We're winning at least 10 games. Remember, JJ said it. I'm willing to put my I don't know. I'll stop calling the show if we don't make it to the playoffs next year with Justin Fields. That's how confident
I've heard you say that before. Then somehow you're back.
No, that was different. I retired.
Oh, okay.
I retired and then I unretired. And I unretired because, some people wanted me to retire. So thank you, Connor. See, Connor gets it. Connor is a smart kid. And remember, they say the kids are the future. And Connor called you out earlier in the show, Jake, and he told you were so happy with all the signings that Joe Douglas did, but now you're not giving Muji a chance?
Well, they've signed a bunch of backups. They haven't signed any legitimate starters.
Yeah, we signed a bunch of backups because we have some legitimate starters already. We have Quentin Williams.
You'd be our best wide. I've seen you in person. You look like an athlete. You would be our best receiver besides Garrett right now.
I mean, I did play wide receiver in college. I wasn't that great, but I did play in college.
You'd be an upgrade over Malachi Corley and Xavier Gibson right now.
We don't even know Xavier Gibson. Yes, we don't know what Malachi Corley is. The first time we ever seen him field, he scored a touchdown. I mean, yeah, he dropped it 1 yard line, but Malachi Corley, he's a talent. We still have Garrett Wilson. We still have all these talented guys on the roster. Quincy Williams. Partner, Garrett Wilson, who's our running back, Breece Hall. There's so many talented players on this team, and we got a bunch of draft picks. Why is everybody so negative? When Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh were running the show every year, we're going to win 13 games this year. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Now, all of a sudden, everybody wants to be negative? I don't get it. I don't get it, Jake. Justin Fields is going to lead us to the promised land next year. I'm telling you, mark my words. And look at what happened with Geno Smith. Look at what happened with Sam Darnold. Look at what happened with Baker Mayfield. The list goes on and on. All these guys go to different teams and have a resurgence. Look at Jared Goff. Look what happened with Jared Goff. He wasn't a great quarterback until he got with Detroit. And now some of those same people in Detroit are over here with the Jets. I'm telling you, this is going to be a resurgence year for Justin Fields. So I need you to relax, Jake. I need you to relax, get on board. Yeah. Listen, if we start the season 4-2, I want you to buy a Justin Fields jersey. How about that?
4-2, yeah. I 4-2, and I'll buy a Justin Fields jersey because that at least will make us relevant for a lot of the year if they start 4-2.
Yeah. All right, man. That's all I got. Everybody. Oh, I did want to share that ad that you played earlier. Thank you for playing that. I gave you guys some gems in there. That's a DJ Reed cameo, one of my favorite Jets over the last couple of years. We got a Ryan Fitzpatrick cameo in there. He gave me a candy cane, which made my day. Even at the end, you guys see me winning the ugly sweater contest at what's the field called? MetLife Stadium. I was the only one there that day because no one shows up to the games in December. So you guys got a lot of good cameos in there. So, I took my time to make that because Gator doesn't like me. So Gator's not going to make any ads for me. So I got to do all this for myself. So, I'm thankful for everyone who voted for me against June, the GM. And, hopefully we get a win against the big fella. So appreciate all your support, guys.
JJ, one thing I will never question is your fandom for the Jets. Good call. But I think you're nuts if you think the Jets had drafted Justin Fields that somehow the last few years would be any different. He's on his third team in 3 years for a reason. And Jared Goff had shown a lot more than Fields had when the Lions got him. Goff had already went to a Super Bowl by the time Detroit got him. Justin Fields has averaged, like 160 yards passing per game? But he's going to be in the Ring of Honor for the Jets? I hope you're right. I'm not. Once again, if you guys watch the show, I'm not someone who wants to be right over my team doing well. Believe me, I hope the Jets win 10 games, and JJ could call on every day and rub it in my face that he was the first to point that out, that he saw it coming. I think I proved it. I'm a Jet fan first and foremost. If you watch this show, I don't think you could get the following I have on YouTube and in the podcast space if I was trying to just say things or be right. I don't see it right now. I hope I'm wrong. I think this team has gotten worse this offseason, not better. And they only won 5 games this past year. Now, they should have won way more than 5 games this past year. It's a joke what happened to the defense. It's an absolute joke what happened with Greg Zuerlein. Speaking of podcasts, reminder, you can get this show in audio form. Type in Jake Asman Show on Apple or Spotify. And you can subscribe there and listen back to anything you might have missed. So if you want to take the show on the go, you can listen in audio form. Just search Jake Asman Show. Sean says, get Tyler Warren plus another wide receiver in the second and let these guys coach them up and let's see. I mean, if you're banking on a rookie, though, or rookies to be impactful players for your offense, there's a lot of risk involved in that. More of your calls here as we start to wind down the show. We've only, I think, we've gotten 10 memberships during the show. We needed like 35. That was before. We need 30 more memberships before we can get the Cowboy Briga emoji. And you also have a chance to win our signed Maynard jersey, our signed Garrett helmet, signed Corbett helmet, and I added this prize today for those just tuning in. The signed Brandon Marshall jerseys. We're doing Jets wide receiver theme raffle this week. So get in for your chance to win. Let's get the more of your calls. Indy Jets is on the line. Hello, Indy.
Hey, Jake. You know, I cannot wait for your show to be on the entire, and the Jets have a winning season. I've never seen it. I want to be at the end of the season and the Jets have a winning season, maybe a playoff win, a Super Bowl win. I don't even know how this show would be. I forget ESPN. It's going to be, this would be just, the WWE meets, who knows? But I cannot wait for the Jets, and it's going to be this year. I am with JJ 100% on this.
Based on
Fields
what?
is going to. Well, okay, so based on this, so if I take Aaron Rodgers' year last year and Justin Fields' year, the last year in Chicago, right? Both horrible coaching, both horrible defenses. Correct? I mean, we can agree that they were probably pretty equal.
You're talking about the defenses?
Yeah, the defense played horrible last year for Aaron Rodgers, and the defense was horrible with Justin Fields in Chicago. So they were fairly equal. But Justin Fields had better numbers than Rodgers did with better players. Aaron Rodgers had Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson. Come on. What's his name? Mooney. You can't compare Mooney to Garrett Wilson. So Rodgers had better talent around him, and
How
still
about
did.
How about DJ Moore?
DJ Moore had a better season. Cole Kmet didn't have. He had an average tight end season the last year. So he was not. He was the only player that excelled was DJ Moore.
Fields' last year as a starter, they won 7 games.
Exactly, and at the last year under Rodgers, we only won 5. But I don't want to get into the Rodgers talk. The only reason I called was I wanted you to go on to that.
Do you believe they've upgraded that quarterback? Is that what you're saying, going from Rodgers to Fields?
Yes.
So you think they've upgraded that quarterback? Now, based on the other moves they have made, have they improved as a football team?
I don't think we've gotten worse. So I think we've stayed about the same because we're waiting on the draft.
So how much better will the coaching be then? To go from 5 wins this past year, how many wins will the coaching get them? Now 10?
We don't know. I think that
so why should I be positive?
If the coaching is as bad as last year, his first year, I think he's going to be gone. I mean, why would you keep him if he's as bad as Ulrich and Sala? It's not going to be as bad. I don't think it could get that bad. But before I get off here, I want you to go on to Boy Green's show this morning. That the ultimate Gator clip that he can have for Neil is Neil's on the phone. Neil's on there, and Chef Kev comes in, and Neil says, "Every time I see you, I get hungry." I think Gator could do so much with that.
It sounds like a Neil clip.
Yeah.
Now, here's my question for you, Indy.
Yeah.
How are they that much better than they are based on what you're saying? They have no receivers right now besides one.
Okay.
They don't have a right tackle. So you think they've improved at quarterback? I don't. Defensively, I mean, they've added some depth to the D line. They brought back Sherwood, which is good, but there's no DJ Reed. They got worse at corner too until proven otherwise.
Here's what Fields did. He took Mooney and gave him his best career season. He took DJ Moore and gave him his best career season. But
Garrett Wilson
Rodgers
had his best career season too. Well, I mean, what are we saying?
By a few yards, by what, 4 yards over a Zach Wilson season? I don't think that's considered a huge gain.
How about touchdowns? How about receptions?
Yeah, by what, six receptions and 4 yards or however many. I don't know exactly, but it was what, less than 10.
Yeah, but you can say that Fields got the best out of those guys. Rodgers also got the best out of what the talent was.
But we're talking several hundred yards, not 3 yards or 6 yards or whatever it was. I mean, Zach Wilson and Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson, Garrett Wilson's numbers were almost identical. Breece Hall's receiving yards went way down under Aaron Rodgers. Right?
Breece Hall also had a disappointing year.
Exactly. And so Rodgers didn't bring anybody up. But if you look at what Fields did,
You're trying to tell me that Justin Fields elevated players. Why'd they get rid of him?
Yeah, I still haven't figured it out. I think that I still don't understand why the Bears got rid of him.
Why the Steelers
they chose not to
bench
put him
him for Russell Wilson?
Yeah, figure that out. Can you imagine how upset you would be if we started a quarterback that went 4-2 and then brought in another quarterback that went 6-5?
I mean, I watched the film review Fialco did. I see why they benched him. While there's a lot of physical talent, he's not that great. He hasn't proven it yet.
And how good was Wilson? I mean, he lost what, the last 5 straight? I mean, you would be losing your mind. You got a quarterback sitting on the bench that went 4-2, and you're not putting him back in the game. You would be losing your mind. But also, Falco said that they pulled Fields too soon.
Yeah, which you could argue they did. My point is, like, you're selling us on like why Justin Fields is going to be so good. I see a bunch of excuses for him. I don't really see why he's that. I don't really see how he's better than what they just had.
I think making moves, DJ Moore, giving him his best career season and giving Mooney, I forget what his first name is.
I mean,
giving him his best season. He elevated players.
They had
He elevated players. Who did Rodgers elevate? Elevate?
Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, Allen Lazard became a player again after he was unplayable the previous year.
Lazard had pretty much the same season under Rodgers as he did under Zach. Nobody elevated.
No, he didn't. What?
Yeah, look at the numbers. He had just as many drops. I mean, Lazard was, the drop king under Rodgers, just like he was under Zach. I mean,
Allen Lazard had 23 catches for 311 yards and 1 touchdown in 2023. This past year, now
in
mind
how
you,
games?
We'll check the games played because remember Lazard missed a lot of time this year because he was injured. So he played in 12 games this year. He played in 14 the previous year. It's not even close. That's just not true.
Yeah, and he still led the league in drops. So
because he's not great. We understand that. And now who's Justin Fields throwing the football to, Indy?
Yeah, we don't know. We get somebody in the
guys
draft.
Who stink right now. What do you mean we don't? So why am I expecting this team to be better? Because the Jets, with their rich history of nailing second-round wide receivers, you ready for Denzel Mims, Stephen Hill, Elijah Moore?
I remember all them. Terrible.
Right. So why am I blindly putting faith in Justin Fields being able to elevate these guys? When we have nothing to base it on.
All we have to base it on is that he made two players.
And Aaron Rodgers made Garrett Wilson better. And Devontae Adams was on pace to go over 1,000 yards if he's played 17 games with the Jets instead of 11. Like, what are we talking about, man? They got worse at quarterback until proven otherwise. They got worse at corner. They've signed a bunch of defensive line depth pieces that maybe could be the same or a little better. It all comes down to coaching. If the coaching's great, you could sell me on this team being a lot better. But until I see otherwise, first-time head coach, first-time GM, offensive coordinator that's never called plays before. And Justin Fields is going to be in the Ring of Honor, according to JJ. Okay, I hope you guys are right. John says the delusion today is crazy. Indy, I want to do some of the drugs you're doing, man. It looks like it's a blast. South Philly in the Asmaniac raffle for 5, baby. Yeah.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
We're now 25 away or 26 away from Cowboy Brigga emoji. If you hear your name called, you thank South Philly. Let me pull up the list of names. Actually can't find the list of names. Where are the names? Here we go. Ray K, Jet Base Girl, Zachary Berner, Fred Lee, Jonathan Buckner, all receiving channel memberships. Congrats. South Philly, you're the man. Thomas Rossi says, Gary going the distance. Update, Gary up 78-22 over South. As I think maybe someone on the committee has the data. But this might be the biggest blowout we've had in the opening round. Gary just dominating. More calls before we wrap. Ladies and gentlemen, I know who we're going to. We need to get in a positive mood. This guy will lift our spirits at all times.
Hello, I'm Mikey. I'm Bobby's little bro. Have you seen Jake Graves? She's so beautiful. I love my boy Jake, but not in a gay way. I am so happy. I'm not gonna touch anything, I promise. Not touching anything, Jake. You hear me, Jake?
Oh, we hear you, Mikey.
Hey, Jake, tell Chris Kruger, you know that Chris guy who going against Beast Breaker, the guy, tell him Bobby's gonna get a job, and my buddy Charles go get a job.
Yeah.
I said, what kind of job he has.
Yeah, you go after One Punch Day Brigham, Mikey. All right. He thinks he can go after everybody. Uh-oh. Maybe Brigga cut out Mikey's internet.
Yeah, I want to talk to him. Tell him to come on. I'll be nice to him, I promise.
Yeah, Dave Brigga, come on.
Yeah, I talk to him. I control him. I love him, too. I love everybody on your show. Chris Brigga, come on. Don't be scared. Mikey loves you. Not in a gay way. Tell your wife I don't love you in a gay way, so come on. Come on and bring it, homeboy. I think he's scared of me, right, Bobby? Bobby knows he's scared of me.
Yeah.
And guess what? I think the Jets go be 17-0, break the Dolphins record. 17-0. My homeboys go. Aaron Glenn and I will go in the Super Bowl. I could coach the Jets. You know what they should do?
What should they do?
I should be calling every Sunday to Aaron Glenn, tell all the plays, and the Jets will win the Super Bowl. And what the Jets could sit on his ass and don't do anything. So I could bring the Super Bowl 17. I want to beat the Dolphins record 17-0, and we're going to Super Bowl all the way, baby. I smell what Mikey and Aaron Glenn is cooking.
Who's gonna be the best of the bunch? Asmaniac Madness. You get to pick the ones that make the show rock.
I'd sign for 17-0. All right, let the record state. I'd sign for that. I want to be out ahead of this. I'd sign for that record immediately. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Appreciate everyone watching the show here on a Sunday. Let's say hello to Purple Belt Mike, who's next. Hey, Mike.
Yo, I just got to let everybody know. We are not better than we were last year.
No.
As much as you think the fans want to be happy and whatever, last year, everyone was saying, we're going to the playoffs, might win the division. The floor was 9-8, just not to be good enough. That is not what we're saying this year because we've seen it and we believe it and we know what it is. Regardless of the coaching or whatever, this team is not better than what it was last year.
The coaching
So
can
it'll
make
take a
it better,
miracle.
but from a roster standpoint, I think it's very hard to try and sell me that they're somehow better without Devontae and Rodgers and Morgan Moses and DJ Reed. I just don't believe it.
Yeah, 100%. We didn't upgrade by getting Stevens over Reed, or we didn't upgrade getting Fields over Rodgers. We didn't. And the processing, when Fialco broke it down, Rodgers didn't have that problem processing. So
I feel like at times he did, but it's probably fair to expect that when he hadn't played football in a year and a half, you know? I think in hindsight, the biggest thing we overlooked was just how long it was going to take Aaron Rodgers to start playing a lot like Aaron Rodgers again, which he did towards the end of last year. It wasn't perfect, had a brutal game against Buffalo. You know, there were moments where it would look good and then bad, but I think so much of that, it's like, go watch the video that Kirk Benkert put out on just how archaic the Jet offense was. Like, they were brutal. If Rodgers goes to Minnesota, watch out. He's going to run it. Kevin O'Connell's offense would be great.
Yep, exactly. The week 3 and 4, he really got beat up, and he should have been sat really after the Denver game. But that really cost the season because he was just injured too much. So as much as I want to be positive, and I've always been the positive Jet fan, after what happened last year, it's going to be rough, guys. So, you know, hope it's not, but it's going to be rough. I hate to say it, but it is what it is. So
I thought you were gung ho after they hired Aaron Glenn. Now you're all down again.
I thought we were going to keep Aaron Rodgers. I thought we were going to keep Devontae. I didn't think this was going to happen where we got backups playing wide receiver too. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mike. You keep up the great work. Now, before I let you go, what did you make of yesterday's One Punch Brigga versus Gary battle?
I have to say that the One Punch Brigga intro is by far the best intro. Man, is that funny? I was singing it before. I was One Punch Brigga. Na, 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 na.
He thinks that Charles and Bobby need to get a job. This cowboy hates to see Asmaniacs complain. What he call it, One Punch Brigga. You need to get a job. What he call him, One Punch Brigga. The beast is on his ass. He call him One Punch Brigga. Does anyone see me back and call him One Punch Brigga? You only need one.
They call him One Punch Brigga. It's nonstop in my head. How about this from Bo? Bo, you are the man, my friend. Thank you for your support, as always. 10 spot of channel membership. Irish Jet fan, JM85, Tim Johnson, Yaneli Watson, JD, Alex G, J-Dags, The Day, Rick, and Paul D. I think we're 11 away from the Cowboy Brigga emoji, assuming Gator. Honestly, Gator, just take the emoji you already have for the cartoon. Make that an emoji. We'll upload that if we get that threshold. Andrew, actually, 10 away now. 10 spot. Come on, we can do that this show. Andrew Kemp in the raffle with this one. Thank you, Andrew. Hell yeah. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, he's dominating his matchup right now, and he's on the line to talk about it. Gary is here. Hello, Gary.
Hey, Jake. How are you?
How are you, Gary? I mean, South S, he thought he could compete, and instead, the 2 seed is dominating. Your thoughts?
Oh, man. He's a hell of a competitor, so I don't take anything for granted. I just give all the glory to God. Without him, none of this would be possible. Humble yourself unto God, under his mighty hand, so that he may exalt you in time. It's a blessing. He's a hell of a competitor, so I take nothing for granted.
I'm happy for you, Gary. A lot of people are picking you to go on a deep run, and we'll see if you're capable of doing it.
We'll see, right? I believe in myself. When no one believes in you, Jake, you believe in yourself.
So you believe in yourself more than you believe in the moon landing not happening?
Well, yes, I believe. Yeah, if you said one of these two things are real, your chances or the moon landing, I would pick my chances.
I see.
Yeah. I didn't even get to watch the beginning of the show. I just wanted to call in. I did go and vote for myself, and I saw that I was doing well. But I was in the car, and
Do you think the Earth is flat?
No, I think the Earth is a sphere, like it says in Isaiah chapter 40. The Earth is a sphere that rotates and is suspended by nothing. I think the Earth is spherical.
Okay.
Why
Thank you for
people ask
clarifying.
me if I think the Earth is like so? I don't think people walked on the moon, therefore the Earth is flat. I don't understand like the correlation there. Yeah, I understand flat earthers obviously don't believe in a moon landing, but like
You said people walked on the moon, correct?
Yeah.
Prove your claim.
It's not my claim, it's history's claim. You're an ignorant person. I was there. I know it went.
You were on the moon?
You just don't believe it.
Give me the evidence that people walked on the moon.
You don't make any sense.
All I'm asking for is evidence.
You don't believe in achievement.
This is irrational. You're acting like an irate 5-year-old.
Listen to me, big mouth.
Dave Rigger, walk like a man. It's not my claim. It's not my burden.
You said you went to college. They teach you nothing?
Shut up.
Don't tell me to shut up.
This is ridiculous.
You're ridiculous.
You can't have a rational conversation.
Do you not believe in achievement?
I don't even know what that means, Jake. I don't even understand what that sentence means. So I believe that people can achieve things. Sure. It's like a politician running for office. I'm for good and against evil. Vote for me. It's like, okay, but what are the details on that? Like, what does that mean, Jake? If I said to you, do you believe in achievement?
I don't think you believe in achievement. I think Dave is right.
Yeah, I don't think anyone has ever achieved anything. I think we're
Nate writes in, so Gary believes in miracles from the Bible but can't comprehend man going to the moon.
I don't understand the argument here. Could people go to the moon? I guess in theory. Has it happened? I don't think it has. Could it happen? Yeah, all things are possible in Christ. Has it happened? I don't think so. I don't see any evidence to suggest anyone's walked on the moon, especially the narratives that were given. Oh, those are fake.
One day you'll believe in achievement, all right?
All right, one day I'll believe in achievement.
Until then, watch out, because One Punch Brig is coming for your ass.
Yeah, I mean, if I see him, it'll be in the finals. I'm wondering if that call helped him. I know that people liked it. I mean, I wanted to have a real conversation with him. He wanted to have a food fight and be in his feminine energy, like throwing like insults and like can we just talk like men? Like, you think people walked on the moon? Awesome. All right. What's the evidence to suggest that people walked on the moon? That's all I wanted. I wanted to have a real conversation with him.
Look, Gary, congrats on your win. And
thank you.
Man, one day I hope you believe in achievement, though.
Maybe one day I'll believe in achievement, but the glory goes to him. I'm just his vessel. All the glory is God's.
He thinks that Charles and Bobby need to get a job. This cowboy hates to see Asmaniacs complain. What he call it, one punch breaker. You need to get a job. What he call him, one punch breaker. The beast is on his ass. Call him one punch breaker. Does anyone see Bean Mac and call him one punch breaker? He'll only need one.
Yeehaw. Yeehaw. Unreal. Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Pitar with a $10 super chat. The hate is a little strong. I get it, but I've been living and dying with the team for 40 years. I know the pain I've sat through. It's all I have but faith in AG because he's a Parcells guy. Yeah, look, I get it. I just they've done everything the opposite of what I was hoping they would do this offseason. So it's tough for me to sit here and now change my tune and be very positive because I would be. See, that's the thing. If I was positive, you guys would say, but wait, you were saying. So I won't do that. No, I'll just let it play out. I hope I'm wrong. I hope this team wins more than 4 games. It's going to be great when they win 6. And you guys are like, but they only won 5 last year with Rodgers. I'm just going to sit here and be like, great. We're now celebrating 6 wins. They should have won more than 5 this past year with Rodgers. That was the whole point of keeping him. He wasn't the reason why they only won 5. He wasn't Greg Zuerlein. He wasn't the defense. And he certainly was not great. That's not what I ever said. But he was their best option at quarterback was the point. And you now created a hole at wide receiver. You see what I'm talking about? We led the show talking about Cimini saying they might keep Lazard. That's wide receiver 2. They had Devontae Adams. We just got rid of him. He's a Hall of Famer who still is playing at a high level. Sean McVay couldn't wait to sign him. They got rid of Cooper Kupp to sign Devontae. We had this guy. And we just said, see ya. We don't need you. Oh, that's what I like. And I understand the argument of moving on from Rodgers. You can make a real one. But they only won 5 games. That's not an argument. That just shows me that you refuse to have any nuance in your discussion. Was Zach Wilson better than Aaron Rodgers because the team won 7 games the year he was the starter? When, by the way, he only won 5 of those games as the starter. Trevor Siemian won 2 of them. Like, that's what I'm saying, man. That's why it's just so frustrating. Hey, shout out to Frank P. He's in the ASMANIAC raffle for 10. Give it up for our guy, Frank, coming through for the people.
Show me the money.
Show me the money!
Money.
Damn. Here we go. 10 names from Frank. G-Star, Endowed Gaming, Zach Tendler, Sam Basario, Dan Van G, and Maxwell Kane. Thank you, Frank P. Now, we should have enough for Cowboy Brigga emoji at some point. Bo says, public photos, recordings, video files, and actual lunar materials all support a moon landing. Reading is fundamental. Take that for data, Gary.
The rock that we gave to the Netherlands to put in the Dutch museum, the rock we gave him, the lunar rock, was fake. It was made of petrified wood. Explain that. Like, why would we give them a fake rock to put in their museum? Unless there's petrified forests on the moon, why do we give them a fake moon rock if that's real?
You said people walked on the moon, correct?
Yes.
Prove your claim.
It's not my claim, it's history's claim. You're an ignorant person. I was there. I know when.
You were on the moon?
You just don't believe it.
Give me the evidence that people walked on the moon.
I love when Gary just takes stage words and goes, you were on the moon? Such a douche. I love it. Oh, what a battle that was. Michael writes in, you can predict all you want, but we actually smelled 5 wins with bum-ass Rodgers. But yes, bring him back to alienate Brees and Gary. Alienate Brees Hall was the one on Twitter campaigning for Rodgers to be brought back. So, shows me you don't know what you're talking about. Find me the Jets players that didn't want Aaron Rodgers back. Because social media says the opposite. They all came out and wanted them back. That Aaron Glenn had to address it at the Combine press conference. How there were a lot of people in the locker room that disagreed with the move, including the longest tenured player on defense now with Mosley gone, Quinnen Williams. But okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Tomlinson, you are officially being sent to RDS Asylum.
Aaron Rodgers? Oh, he's going to make the playoffs in Pittsburgh. Pussy arm doesn't have the fucking balls to do it anymore. Bag of shit. We had a quarterback who couldn't fucking finish drives and score touchdowns. He's a scared piece of shit. We wouldn't have to settle on fucking field goals if we had a good enough quarterback who had a fucking set of balls and didn't have to rely on the kicker to kick the ball. The great fucking Aaron Rodgers that you want to fucking blow bag. Aaron Rodgers is so fucking good. Oh man, Aaron Rodgers had 5 fucking wins.
The old 5 wins. Nothing like it. Bino with a super chat. Jacob, I'm late today. Missed most of the show, but I want to say the world is a much safer place because of One Punch Dave Brigga. One Punch Dave Brigga. You need to get a job. I've had it stuck in my head the last 24 hours. All right, one last call, and then we will wrap up. Ladies and gentlemen, a legend is on the line. A fellow redhead, the great Barbarossa joins us now. What's up, Barbarossa?
Hey, what's going on, guys? We got some delusional people here, and I don't blame them, but like I'm getting vibes more like the 2020 team from this kind of free agent. So like I'm just getting like the vibes like who are these people? Like what are we doing? So it's gonna be tough. I mean, I'm still gonna watch the games, but like I just have definitely lowered my expectations. And if they get blown away, like awesome, like cool.
I don't think they'll be that bad to be fair, but I feel like they're anywhere from like 4 to 7 wins right now, which is not very exciting.
No. It's really not. It's really not. I hope we can send Gary to Mars. You should put aside some of the super chat money you get every day, and we can maybe we can buy a seat on like one of Elon's rockets or something like that for Gary, so he can experience it for real. So maybe he can call in from Mars. or the
I'd
moon
love
or
to do
something.
the show from the moon with Gary. He'll be
Yeah,
my co-host that day.
that'd be sick. That'd be so cool. That'd be so cool. I have just a little thing about that. So this is a question for Gary. If the moon landing was fake, why did Russia not accuse the United States of faking it during the Cold War, at the height of the Cold War? If we faked it, wouldn't Russia have said, you guys lied? I mean, they were our direct adversaries. Explain that away. Like, why did nobody call us out? And how has it been kept a secret by tens of thousands of people since then? Like, how is that possible? Somebody would have spilled the beans.
Gary, your thoughts?
I don't even understand your question. What is your question?
Okay, so my question is, if the moon landing was fake, why didn't Russia accuse us of it being fake? Why didn't Russia say that when it
Who
happened
says
or
they-
after it happened?
Who says they didn't?
What?
Who says they didn't?
They did. They've never accused the United States of faking the moon landing. They've never done that.
Said who?
All right, Gary, if this is what you're going to do, I mean, Jesus.
You're making these absolute claims which I've never heard of before. You're asking me to speculate, which why would I do that? A, and B, it's like I have no evidence to suggest your speculation is even true.
It's not a speculation. It's not a speculation. Russia, politically, international politics, Russia has never said you guys never went to the moon. They've acknowledged that it happened.
Prove that.
Prove that.
How would they know if they went? How would they know if Americans went to the moon?
Well, they were the first. They had satellites up there before we did.
Yeah,
they were actually the ones that were better at. They won the space race.
That's fake too.
No.
But that's one.
Oh,
And two
Lord.
Was like prove that. Prove they like it doesn't even make any sense what you're saying. They wouldn't know if we went to the moon unless they went to the moon.
No, that's not what I'm saying, Gary. I'm saying no. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they would have called us out if we were lying. That's what I'm saying.
What makes you think they didn't?
But because they haven't. It's never what history. What politician?
I don't know what it's your claim, bro. Like you guys.
No. You just said they didn't. You just said they didn't.
I asked you a question. I said, "What makes you think they didn't?" And your argument was they didn't because they didn't, which is like circular reasoning to the 10th degree.
But there's no one that has said it. Now you need to provide the evidence of a Russian saying.
You've made the claim. You guys don't understand how logic works.
Yes, Gary.
You made a claim.
Gary, I have a master's degree in history. Come on, really.
You have a master's degree, and like, see, okay. That's another logical fallacy.
Gary, while I was learning, you were getting punched in the head repeatedly. Like, clearly one of us is going to know more about this than the other.
You made a claim here that now no Russians accused Americans of faking the moon landing. Okay.
Yeah, Russia's never called us out. None of their leaders, none of their scientists, nobody ever wrote a book.
None of them? Prove your claim.
How do you prove? No, it's up to you to find someone who did.
I'm not the one who makes retarded absolute claims, bro. You are. So now the burden's on you to prove it. When you speak in absolutes, you have to prove absolute claims. It's not me, bro. You're the one who made the claim, not me.
What's up, Beast? Beast, who do you agree with?
How you guys doing? We're doing great. We're just checking some new music out right now.
Yeah, but did we go to the moon, Beast?
Your evidence of a claim that you can't prove is making more claims that you can't prove.
No, Gary. Gary, all you need to do.
Hang on. Your claim, your evidence that we went to the moon was more claims that you can't prove.
No, I mean, there's also all the videos. The only other thing I'm adding is this other layer of other countries acknowledging it happened. Right?
How would they know if we went to the moon unless they went to the moon? How would they know that? It doesn't make any sense what you're saying.
No. Can you wait? Explain what you just said. I don't. Wait. Can you explain the last thing you said? Just tell me.
How would they know if we went to the moon unless they went to the moon and saw the flag and saw the space module and saw all that? How would they know if we went there?
Well, satellites.
What about satellites?
Well, the first Russian satellites are able to do that. That's how we communicate.
Satellites are able to do what and give specifics. They're able to.
A satellite would be able to detect a ship entering the moon's orbit. It would able to tell us that.
Then show me the footage, right? Like show me the footage. That's the moon, and there's a satellite that's showing the moon. And
Gary, you could do this research on your own. You're just being difficult.
Okay, but you haven't done it, right? So why do we give the Dutch a fake moon rock that was made out of petrified wood?
Because we're dicks. That's why. There's an easy answer. There's an easy answer. America was like, there's this moon rock. But it was like, there's an answer. I mean, we stole all this land from all these people. You don't think we'd lie about a moon rock? Like,
didn't steal any land from anybody. What are you talking about? The people who gave him a moon rock stole land. You just hate America. Like, that's
No,
what
I
it is.
love this country, and that's
Literally
why I
not.
criticize it. Thomas Jefferson says that.
Thomas Jefferson says what? Like, do you ever make an argument, or do you just tell me what other people said?
I am making an argument, and I'm supporting my
Your
argument with relevant
Thomas
facts,
Jefferson
Gary.
said
Oh
something.
my God.
You haven't given me any facts. You've made things up. You
Mm-mm.
speculated that no
Oh,
Russian ever
Lord.
questioned the moon landing. Like, that's not true.
I don't know what to tell you, Gary.
Yeah,
I did
maybe
vote for you,
some
though.
evidence. Maybe use some evidence next time. Thank you. I appreciate
Oh,
that.
good Lord.
I voted for you too, by the way.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Who's gonna be the best of the bunch? Yes, Maniac Madness. You get to pick the ones that make the show rock. Who's the king? Answer you.
Great way to end it. All right, they voted for each other at the tournament at the end of the day. They disagree on the merits of the moon landing, but they voted for each other at the tournament. Love it. Super chat at the buzzer here from Bo. Both Russia and the Soviet Union have attempted to go to the moon. Just look that up and add Russia to the crazy liar list. All right. What a show. Thank you all for watching. Whether you agree with my thoughts on the Jets or not, love you all. Fun time. Great calls. And it's time to declare a winner. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think it's a surprise. He dominated the matchup, but Gary is moving on to the round of 32. Gary defeats South Ass, and the poll is officially closed. Over 500 of you guys have voted. 554 to be exact, and the winner is Gary, 78-21. So congrats to Gary. South Ass, you're a great caller. Hopefully we hear more from you over the next calendar year, and I think you'll be seated a lot higher because there's a lot of great potential with South Ass. Thank you all for watching. This is my final show here from Houston, where I'm visiting some friends for the weekend. So we're back to New York tomorrow. Show will start a little later than normal because I have a 6 a.m. flight back to New York tomorrow. So 2 shows tomorrow. We're on to the train region, baby, our final region in the opening round. The 1 seed, the Lane Train, will be in action against 25, so I'm looking forward to that. Hit the like button on your way out of here. Subscribe to the channel. Get some new deodorant from Mando. Use promo code Asman at checkout. Thank you all again for watching. Go Jets, everyone. Jets. Jets, Jets, Jets.
He thinks that Charles and Bobby need to get a job. This cowboy hates to see Asmaniacs complain. What he call him, one punch bigger. You need to get a job. What he call him, one punch bigger. The beast is on his ass.